I like to reuse and recycle materials to save money and to stay away from excessive consumption. Instead of tossing garbage into landfills, it's good to give things a second chance. And this little bit of wooden cardboard was actually the backing from an old picture frame. I sanded it first so the white acrylic base would stick better and began to paint a bunch of clouds to decorate a little corner from where I plan to interview optimistic individuals that can verbally paint positive pictures from the beautiful parts of this planet. It's time to get happy. And I don't mean merely laughing at our problems, although that's always very healthy. I mean really, deeply, honestly, making an effort to shut out all the destructive negativity that sometimes creeps in and contaminates us little by little. In 2020, we all complained, lamented, cried with distrust, paranoia, prejudice, and honest hurt. Outrage against mismanagement and injustice is necessary to cure an ailment, but bitterness is a poison. Don't become a cynic. Don't. As a blogger, activist, congressional candidate, and radio host, I've condemned injustice and all sorts of wrongdoings for years now. And although I've always proposed, yes, ways in which we can fix things ourselves, while trying to keep a positive attitude with messages of self-determination, if we continuously only highlight urgent problems, then it can be overwhelming. The way in ER doctors sometimes feels like humanity is always getting into trouble or dying. It can seem like no matter who we elect to public office, every time we turn our backs, the rainforest is burning, poor people aren't getting a fair trial, and more and more animal species are going extinct because of some short-sighted, greedy, reckless corporation. Having survived 2020, I'm sure you're just as mentally, emotionally exhausted as I am. We all are. We are, after all, the burnout generation, the ones who never turn off work because we're always available to our temporary employers, and yet we earn less for that exploitation. And as if millennials didn't have it hard enough, the cherry on top is a financial depression during our most productive years. But I wanted to keep this positive, to focus in a realistic way on the good stuff. The times that we did get it right. By the way, if you only clicked on this video to get an art tutorial, let me give you what you came here for. These two paintings were done with standard acrylic paint found in every craft store or art store, as you can see in their iconic little bottles. I like to fill in the bigger areas with the cheaper stuff, but for precise, vibrant colors, I'll use Turner or Liquidex. In theory, you can mix your way with the primary colors into whatever shade you need, and remember, it's always better to get an accurate tone instead of finely shaping things. But these are fast-drying acrylics. I just dilute my paint with water, not using a medium of any sorts. And by adding water, you can stay within your budget and always achieve that marbled, misty watercolor look. Watercolors in themselves are beautiful when used right, but I kind of prefer the control acrylics have to offer, especially since I come from the oil paint world. Brushes, I have never been too picky about. Whatever works for you is fine. If it's the standard small brushes, I'm happy within the friendly budget ones. But for bigger brush strokes, you might want to invest in higher quality ones. Just remember that it's about the talent, it's about the work, the perseverance that you put into it, not necessarily the expensive gear. What I like most about clouds is that they are free forms. I generally know what sort of sky I'm aiming for, and pick ahead of time the basic color scheme, like these warm peachy tones contrasted by cool shadows. But clouds are untamed, they're unpredictable, impossible to constrain. No matter how hard you try to squeeze, you just can't hold a cloud in your hands. I've been painting them for almost 20 years, and nothing else out there compares to the relaxing challenge of blending colors, give these celestial bodies a form. I love to just start one out and let it take me into swirls and gradual variations I did not plan. Who plans out clouds? They just spawn and float away to wherever the wind takes them. Now, you could just stop right there and leave the painting as it is at this moment, but I usually overwork my art, and if someone doesn't come and snatch it off my hands, I do tend to act as if it's the last remaining surface out there and overwork my pieces. But remember, as a creator, only you get to say when it's finished or not. To be lost in the clouds is the kind of undefined, untraceable escape that you are free to create. Because as long as you respect the essential laws of nature, who's to say that your cloud doesn't exist, huh? No one rules over that. There is no rigid academy out there dictating what a cloud should or should not look like. Sunsets are these bold canvases that never repeat themselves. Each one is a masterpiece, and we never get tired of them. We stop what we're doing. We travel long miles just to stare at these short-lived artworks in the sky. Last year, many people, while locked away at home, reflected on the deeper issues, and I'm just amazed just how many have come out realizing that happiness, their well-being, needs to become their new priority. We've adopted unhealthy practices, unsustainable habits, and have been working to achieve goals that were never ours to begin with. What works for the system can sometimes make you sick. We have become hyper-focused on germs and viruses, and thus, while disinfecting our exterior, we became more aware of what's inside. Every activity, no matter how pleasurable, of course, if done for extended periods of time, will be difficult. I painted a total of 5 hours for this video, and after a while, my wrist was starting to hurt, as well as my shoulder muscles, and of course, staring at something for too long up close does cause eye strain. So what I'm trying to say is that even doing the things that you love will not always be pure pleasure. That would be awful. In fact, it's those challenges, the suspense that it can all go wrong if you mess up. That's what's sparking that reward at the end of the road in your brain. Because doing something that's too easy without any effort will not make you happy in the long run. You gotta fight. Don't assume, of course, that you have to keep busy all the times in order to be successful in life. First, decide what is your personal definition of success. Think about it. Then write it down somewhere, or maybe you could tell me. Because you only get one life. Why should other people you'll never even meet decide for you? Stop trying to monetize every single waking hour and, smell the daisies. Look at the rabbit outside your window. And try a few creative activities where you actively participate or you learn new skills that make you feel proud about yourself. But you do need to do things that satisfy your inner self, an outlet for creativity, a space where your soul can manifest itself outside of the constraints of a repetitive job that you can learn to love, sure, but that you do only to pay bills. Let's be honest. You exist as a miracle of a person to bring good into the world, and you can help others once you stop and actually help yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more to come, please give this video a big thumbs up and make this your best year yet.